Hello everyone, here's a screencast on how to use the change set within Salesforce. I'm currently logged in into a test production environment. You can see it's NA15. First, I might need to explain what you can do with change set. It allows you to deploy fields, workflow rules, reports, pretty much everything from an environment to another. It can be from production to sandbox, from sandbox to production, from sandbox to sandbox, um, from any organization to any organization, as long as they are related to each other. Here in the production, I'm gonna go into the sandbox list. I already created a dev sandbox, never logged in yet. I'm gonna create here in production a new custom object, which I'm gonna name my first custom object. My first custom objects. Save. I'm gonna add a new custom field, not a number, text area here. My text area. Oops. Next. Save. Also gonna create a tab. New custom object tab. My first custom object. A workflow. A new rule. Object. My first custom object. Since we can update name. So when the field name is equal to 1, 2, 3, save and next. New field update, fill out details. It's gonna update my text area. Use a formula, show formula. 1, 2, 3. Save. Done. Activate. Let's see if it works. A new. We'll name it test. My text area is still blank. 1, 2, 3. My text area is 1, 2, 3. Okay. So now my sandbox and production environment are not synced anymore. I have the object only in production, and I will need them in my sandbox to continue development. And let's say I don't want to refresh the whole sandbox. So what I can do, I'm gonna go into deployment connection. I need to make sure that I have the right to upload to the sandbox. I'm gonna go there. So you see upload authorization direction. There's no authorization within production and the sandbox. If I try to edit, it doesn't accept outbound change. I can only allow inbound change, which means that if I check that checkbox off, it's going to allow the sandbox to push to production, meaning that I need to go into the sandbox to allow change coming from production. I'm going to go here, sandboxes. I'm going to log in into the development sandbox. Show you that I don't have any custom object here. Create object, no custom object. So I'm gonna go into deployment connection, continue, no direction. So if I click on production, exit, allow inbound change, save. it sometimes takes a while to save that change. Usually it doesn't take much longer. There we go. So if I go back in production, any15, deployment connection, continue, from Nubik to dev. So what I want to do now is create an outbound change set. I could have created it before even setting up the connections. Okay. Our change set list, I can create a new one. I'm gonna name it first object. Say I'm gonna add all the components I need. So I first gonna add the tab. Check my first custom object, add to change set. And now I can do view add dependencies. So it's telling me that it needs the all list view of the object. It needs the custom object, the custom field, and the page layout. Gonna add to change set. I'm also gonna add the workflow rule. Workflow rule, update name, add to change set. I can also do view add dependencies, fill out details, which is the field update, add to change set. If I had set it up proper profile settings, I can add them. If I don't add any, nobody will have any rights on the object. Let's try it out without any profile information. So now I'm ready to upload that change set. Upload. Now I choose the connection. So if I have multiple sandboxes, I could select development, integration, or I need developers sandbox. But now I'm gonna update to this one, upload to this one as it is the only one. Click upload. Upload in progress. I'll receive an email when it's done. If I go back into the sandbox, inbound change set. Might not be completed yet, so we need to wait a bit. This part is an Ajax, it will update itself when it's completed. I got the emails, it means it has been uploaded. As I told you, it's an Ajax. So now the inbound change set is here, awaiting deployment, meaning that I never deployed it. So clicking the change set saying it says it's not available, so can refresh it a bit. Usually takes a minute or two. As you can see in production, as I uploaded it once, I cannot add any components. I will need to create a new one. I think it's best to keep it as simple as possible. So don't throw anything you have in there. Like let's create a new one. All add custom object, custom field. I don't have much field or whatsoever. Like don't throw everything in there. I don't get all page layout, that should change set with all dependencies. Don't do that because it's most likely gonna fail. You might screw up permissions, profile permissions, with things that you don't want to deploy, and you will have a lot of issues figuring out errors if there's any. Okay, so the change set is ready in sandbox, yes, 15. So now I can validate the change are still not there, even though the change set is in. So if I go into create object, it's still not there. So if I click validate, it will simulate the deployment and tell me the result. It takes as much time as the full deploy. However, in scenario like some customer that require us to deploy only after business hour. We might create a change set, upload it, validate it during the day, and at the end of the day, if the deployment, the validation were successful, then we can just hit deploy and assume it would work. So now, status of the validation was succeeded. I can click view result. Page layout was modified and other one were created. I can hit deploy. Okay. While it is deploying, I don't know if I'll be quick enough. I can go into deploy and monitor deployment. Usually you see it in there in deployment in progress. So it has succeeded. Do I have the tab now? No, because I didn't included the profile settings. So now I know that I forgot this part. I would like to have all the profile settings per things I'm deploying. So what I can do is clone it. First object with profile. Can have profile settings for included components. What this technically does is it doesn't include the profile. It includes the setting just for the custom field, for the custom object, for the tab, for the page layout. So you need to add everything that you set. Add to change set. Upload again. Upload to dev. Upload. Meanwhile, in here, create. You will see that the custom object is here. My first object. My custom field is here. Workflow rule. It's there. It's active. Everything's ready. It's just that I don't have access to the tab. If I go into create tab, my first custom object, tab is here. And I can show you by going into my profile, user detail, system admin, tab, custom tab setting, my first custom object, tab hidden. So now that it's ready, I can go into setup, deploy, inbound change set, continue. I can see that I deployed first object, the date I deployed. I can still see the history. Validation at this time, the log, and the full deploy at this time with the log. Go back to open my new one. First object with profile. I can do validate. You don't have to validate. I will deploy right away. And I'll try to be fast this time to monitor. No. Succeeded. My first custom object tab is now here. So I can create custom object. I can create, name it test. 1, 2, 3. Workflow rules is working and I'm in the sandbox. Let's try out with a report. We're gonna create a new report. First, I guess I don't have any new report. I can create any report, doesn't matter much. Account, create. No. Oh, it's already there. I'm gonna save it right away. Account, report. Save it into a new folder. my report folder. Oh, I guess I cannot create it that way. On file public report, save, run. So I now have that report. I'm gonna try to. Oh, I'm also gonna add some code here. Develop, Apex trigger, developer console, because I want to create a change set that would fail. File, new, Apex trigger, a subject, my first custom object, name, my first trigger. Oh, thanks. I need to figure out the name of the field I created. Object. Field name is my text area. For my first custom object. See that my text area C equals just being inserted. I'll save this. See that I have no code coverage. Let's see if the trigger does something. New ABC just being inserted. So I now have the trigger and the report. I will create that change set. Deploy outbound change set. Continue. New. Trigger and report. Usually I will suggest splitting those in two because the report is totally unrelated to the trigger. However, as this is a demo and I only have those two without any much dependencies, it will be fine. So Apex trigger, my first trigger, add to change set, report, named it account report, add to change set. Can do view add dependencies. Tells me that I need my first custom object with page layout and such. I don't really need them as it's already there. Therefore, I can upload it. However, I cannot upload any change to any other organization because the relationship, the connections are not there. Can see it here. So only production can send to dev. We'll change that by going into production, deployment connection, auto inbound, save. So now here, if I refresh, I have dev to production. Outbound change set. Control continue. Trigger and report. Can upload it. Now to production. Upload. Need to wait until it's completed. It is inbound change set here. Trigger and report. Meanwhile, I can create here, I can do apex last and run all test. No, select test. I don't have any. So nothing will run. Should not take much longer anymore. There's no way to monitor that. I think it's done. Let me cut and restart as soon as it's completed. Here it is. The change set is ready now. I can do validate. Okay. Succeeded. That's kind of strange because the trigger should not go through anyway. We're gonna try to deploy it. Okay. It deployed. So let me go into report. Non-filed. Should have account report, which is a report I created with just account name, with just account here, basic report. And I also have a trigger, which will just been inserted. So that's how we work with change set. What I'd love to show you a failed one, however it will be too much time consuming. You will have the error message here saying where things failed and what line needs to be fixed or if code coverage is fine. And you can just, when you need to change stuff, you can just clone the change set, add components to it, add dependencies, add profile stuff, and it should be good. So I hope you learn a thing or two here, or at least that it was an interesting recap. Have a nice day, have some fun, then talk to you later.